Yes, we have come to the reason that all these trailers have been dropping recently. Alright, the truth is, I saw this movie Thursday night, and I was planning on making this video right after I got home, but I had a massive headache, I was beat, I was dead tired, and yesterday I was out all day. Like, literally all day. Like, I left at 11 in the morning, and I came home at like 2:30 in the morning. All day. But today I got no plans, so let's talk about some Captain Mar-Vell. That'll be fun. Captain Mar-Vell. This is, like she did in the trailer. So Captain Mar-Vell is movie number 21 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 9th movie in its Phase 3. And it really serves as kind of a prequel / tall tale to the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, minus Captain America: The First Avenger, because it takes place in the year 1995, which is coincidentally when I was born. We have Brie Larson as Captain Mar-Vell / Carol Danvers. She crash lands on Earth. She has amnesia. She doesn't remember that much about her past. She sees herself as a Kree, which is an alien species. She's got some cool powers. She's part of a special forces team. And she finds herself partnering up with S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Nick Fury, played by an awesomely de-aged Samuel L. Jackson. And now they go on their adventure, finding more about her and the Kree-Skrull war. And of course, there's a lot of buzz around this movie. Some of it good, some of it not so good. And I try to keep my nose out of the whole, feminist politics thing that's going on with this film, because it's another Marvel movie. Like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is my favorite franchise of all time, and it was ultimately inevitable that they would someday bring in a female superhero to lead a movie. But the thing about Brie Larson with me is that she's never really impressed me so far, and no, I have not seen the movie Room, for which she won an Oscar, but I can say that this movie is the best I've seen her act. I actually liked her in this movie. She was stoic when she needed to be stoic, and when it came to the emotional scenes, I thought she delivered. Full disclosure, I actually have seen this movie twice at this point, so I've had some time to mull it over in my head, and yeah, I actually do think that Brie Larson did a pretty good job. Samuel L. Jackson was really good as a younger Nick Fury. He's not the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet, he's a field agent, so he's a little more, not carefree, but he's more fun. He's not as serious and stoic as we've seen him in other Marvel movies. And I like seeing that, the chemistry between Nick Fury and Carol Danvers, they bring the fun out of each other. They have some pretty good moments where I was like, yeah, alright, I'd like to hang out with these guys. I do gotta say though that the standout of this movie for me was Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, the leader of the Skrulls in this movie. Yeah, in one of my videos I did on the trailer, I called him Talos. No, it's actually Talos, like Talo. But no, I actually really liked him. He was actually kind of funny. He brought more to this character who is like, a Skrull than you would think he would have. I'm not going to go any deeper, of course, because I'm not going to go into spoilers. I will make a spoiler video for this movie, of course, but I'm just saying what I think, and I thought that Ben Mendelsohn was the standout for me. Jude Law's character is funny because we all thought, oh, he's going to be Mar-Vell. He's not the character Mar-Vell. The character Mar-Vell is in this movie, but it's not Jude Law. Jude Law's character's name is Yon-Rogg. It's a Kree name. And I thought he was fine. There were things about his character I didn't really like, which again, I'll dive deeper into in my spoiler talk, but it's really nothing to do with Jude Law's acting. I thought young Dumbledore did a really good job. It was the character himself and how he was written. I'll get into it later. But I also really liked Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambeau, who was one of Carol's friends from when she was in the Air Force. She's not in the movie too much, but the scenes she was in I thought were really good scenes. She brought the level of emotion to this story that brings the heart of the movie, really. Or at least that's what I felt. All in all, it's a pretty good ensemble cast of characters. Now, of course, this movie taking place in the mid-90s, there's gonna be a lot of, 90s nostalgia, which again, myself being born in 1995, I don't remember a lot of the 90s. So there are things like songs that would play in the background, a lot of 90s songs in this movie, where the audience around me was going, oh yeah, I remember that, oh my god, I remember when that song came out, that was huge. And things like Blockbuster Video and old computer operating systems, which I remember growing up with when I was a kid, in like the early 2000s or whatever. Like, I do remember those older computer operating systems and visiting Blockbusters to rent movies. So I did kind of get the nostalgia part of the whole 90s thing, but not in the way everyone else did. Or everyone else older than me, that is. The whole winks and nods thing in the movie relies heavily on winks and nods thing. For me, it didn't come from the whole 90s thing. It came from the Marvel Cinematic Universe fan service. There is actually a lot of it in this movie. This taking place in the 90s, we have S.H.I.E.L.D. back and Nick Fury, and we have the Kree-Skrull war. We've seen the Kree before in Guardians of the Galaxy. Agent Coulson is back, and it was awesome to see him again. I'm actually not sure if all of this Marvel Cinematic Universe fan service bothered me or not, because for a lot of it, it made sense that they were in this movie. Like, Korath is in this movie. Remember him from Guardians of the Galaxy? Ultimately, I didn't feel like he had to be in this movie. Like, he could have been anyone. I feel like the only reason he was in this movie is because, hey, look, remember him? Fan service, Kree stuff. I mean, it's not that big of a detail, it doesn't ruin the movie or anything. It's just a little nitpick. The movie was not entirely perfect. I did have some problems with it. Some of the action scenes were really, they were shaky cam, and I'm not a huge fan of that because I can't really tell it was really blurry. I think 2D is going to be the way to go here. I don't know if 3D is going to help this movie at all. The cool thing is, the first time I saw this movie, it was in IMAX, and the frame actually kind of expanded to go from like full screen to widescreen a few times. That was actually really cool, and apparently IMAX has been doing that for a while now. What have I been missing? That's awesome. Of course, IMAX tickets are like crazy expensive these days. I don't know if it would be worth it to... Let's get back to the movie. The action scenes at the end of this movie were awesome though. But of course they are, you know? I mean, it's the end of the movie and Captain Marvel's kicking ass. Visually, it was just awesome to see. However, I don't really know if this movie showed that she is actually the most powerful hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, said she was gonna be. Like, sure, she's got some cool powers. Again, visually they're awesome. But we've seen some pretty strong dudes in the MCU. Like Thor in Infinity War, yeah. Or the Hulk pretty much all the time. You're telling me that Captain Marvel can go toe-to-toe with either of those dudes? By the end of this movie, I was like, I don't know about that. I feel like if she can go toe-to-toe against either of those dudes, it will only be because the script says she can. And of course, getting back to the whole feminism thing, maybe it's because I saw it coming, you know, people were talking this movie up as a feminist movie, but I didn't really notice it that much. Like, I didn't see this movie as overly feminist, and there is such a thing. I used to have this roommate back in college. I hated the shit out of her, because she was like overly, like, in-your-face feminist. Like, her room was filled with like riot signs and shit. It's okay, I'm pretty sure she hated me too. But this movie didn't seem like that. It's about a strong character who just happens to be a chick. She never gives up during a fight. If you push her down, she will get back up, and that's strength for you. There is maybe a line or two where I was like, all right, that's, you know, maybe that's the feminist line. Wonder Woman had the same thing, where there was one line in Wonder Woman where I was like, that's the feminist line. In that movie, it was a line where she was like, I'm the man who can. I was like, okay. And in this movie, there's another line, it's towards the end where she says it, and I'm like, all right, that's your feminist line. But I get it though, I really do. Feminism is a huge thing right now. Not just surrounding this movie, but out there in the world in general. And yeah, I'm all for equality, don't get me wrong. I certainly think men and women should be seen as equals. I just don't like it when it's shoved in my face. You know what I mean? And yeah, this movie didn't feel like it was shoving feminism down my throat. There may, however, have been some slight retconning as far as MCU lore goes, and that is the last thing I wanted. I hate retconning. I hate retconning more than a lot of other things in movies. And there were maybe some slight retcons here and there among the writing. As far as the bigger plot line goes though, like, it can fit in early MCU lore if you just kind of put it in there. It fits. I'm a big MCU fan. I ran the numbers. I'm like, yeah, all right. It works. Again, I'll delve deeper into it in my spoiler talk. It'll just take some getting used to in my brain. I do, however, gotta praise the movie on one huge thing, and that is the score. The score for Captain Marvel was composed by Pinar Toprak, who's also the first woman to score an MCU film, and she went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, which is my alma mater. Ooh, that felt cool to say. The triumphant heroic theme she wrote for Captain Marvel is awesome. It's the first track on the album. Listen to it over and over like I do. It's great. I will put a link below to the interview that she had on the red carpet premiere of this movie. If you're a music nerd like me, check it out. So in the end, I had a pretty damn good time with Captain Marvel. It's not the best Marvel movie I've ever seen, you know? It's not up there with Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or Winter Soldier. But I like the characters, you know? Brie Larson I thought was pretty good. The action was awesome when it wasn't all shaky cam. The visual effects were top notch. The score was awesome. Just some of the writing felt flat in parts. That's really the only gripe I have about this movie, is the writing brought it down a few times. But for Captain Marvel, I will say, go see this movie while it's in theaters. And there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene, yeah. The post-credit scene, So Captain Marvel, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.